You are now listening to the Buck Wild Podcast with your boy J Buck, BKA, the Airtime Snatcher, also known as Mr. $40 Holler.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. This is your boy J Buck, aka the Airtime Snatcher, also known as Mr. $40 Holler. I hope everybody had a good, prosperous day. We've seen a little snowflakes today. Hey, we know it's getting cold now. First of all, the drinks for tonight, got that Don Julio. We also got that Patron. So these drinks for the night. Everybody that's listening, if you start having problems hearing me, let me know. Send me a message. If you got my number, just text me. I have my other phone right here, so we're gonna try to get it together. Tonight's episode, we're gonna talk about mental health. I've been seeing a bunch of discussions about that, and you know me. Tried to get somebody on here, and she's gonna come. I know she's busy, so we gonna get on there. We're gonna get on here to one night, not tonight, but one day to talk about mental health. First of all, let me read off some things. The Blue Phoenix Volleyball Club, with director Whitney McDaniel. She's still looking for donations and sponsors to help sponsor the volleyball club. She's also looking for more 13 to 14-year-olds who want to play volleyball, who want to learn the game. Get in contact with Whitney. You can contact her at 618-960-0947, or you can email her at bluephoenixathletics@outlook.com. Next, we have Big Roman Brooks, Ro Brooks. He do fitness, personal trainer. You contact him at bigrofitness.com or bigrofitness@gmail.com for, you have any questions or anything. I guess a counselor, he'll take care of you. Local music scene, Arnold Williams, Chaos for Music. He's on Instagram, Chaos for Music. He also on Twitter, Snapchat. He's on Facebook as Arnold Williams. Chaos, KAYOS, the number 4 music. He got a single out right now. It's pretty hot, called featuring Hitch and J Rock. All three of them from U City. They got that U City sound. It sound good. Nice single. Hey, go download the single, play it 30 seconds a day so he can get that screen. Let's help our own. Also, what I'm wearing tonight, move to the side. TJ Hawthorne, Terrence Hawthorne Jr. He took Eastside to their first ever basketball state championship several years ago. He's now playing at St. Louis University. They got that NIL going on now, so he has his own T-shirts. Hey, order a T-shirt, order a hoodie. I got mine. I have several. Contact his father. His name is Terrence Hargrove. He's on Facebook. Or contact his mother, Tracy Smith Hargrove. Both of them on Facebook. They're a good family. TJ, he a good young man. He ain't gonna give you no trouble. Good in the schoolwork. He hustles on the basketball court. Help the young man out. All these athletes, they've been playing sports for years and they never got paid. Hey, that's his chance to, make a little come up while he in college. Help him out, with supplies and everything. TJ Hargrove. Okay, let's get on to this. Mental health. Man, we've been seeing a bunch of stuff. As we know, There's been a lot of stuff going on, a lot of people killing people, and the first thing that come to mind is mental health. That's the discussion. Uh, I'm not real big on it. I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but I did Google myself. Uh, so with mental health, it runs deep. It runs deep. Uh, Recently, we had two of St. Louis finest. They got it was a tragic. Both of them died down in Atlanta. Uh, I don't know the field for details, but I'm not gonna speak on it. Rest in peace to the both of them. They left 8 kids, but I want to know did mental health play into that? Uh, the first instance of mental health that I can remember that I really got into it uh, when they talking about Chris Benoit when he killed his wife down in Atlanta and killed his son over a 2 or 3 day period. They were saying it was mental health. They also said it was CTE. If you don't know what CTE is when you ain't you ain't have so many concussions, you ain't hit your head so much where you can be 30 years old, but you can have a brain of a 90-year-old. Uh, but also, mental health plays into that because what I'm gonna get into, depression. That's part of mental health. So first thing first, what is mental health? Per the Mayo Clinic.org, mental health is the overall wellness of how you think, regulate your feelings, and behave. Sometimes people experience a significant disturbance in this mental functioning. A mental disorder may be present when patterns of changes in thinking, feeling, or behaving cause distress or disrupt a person's ability to function. A mental health disorder may affect how well you are. Man, that's deep right there. Uh, Go to mayoclinic.org, look it up. What I'm talking about, I Googled everything because I really didn't know. Um, Mental health is deep. Uh, I know some people that's suffering from mental health right now. It's when I when I looked it up, first thing came up was anxiety disorders and depression. I say, man, I know people that's going through that right now. Uh, I don't know. Hold on just a minute. I got people texting me about the podcast. I told you this is a hood podcast. We love it. We love it.
You are now listening to the Buck Wild Podcast with your boy J Buck, BKA, the Airtime Snatcher, also known as Mr. $40 Holler.
Yeah, so types of mental illness. There are more than 200 types of mental illnesses. Here are a couple of illnesses and disorder. Anxiety disorders, depression and other mood disorders, substance use disorder, that means using drugs, post-trauma stress disorder, PTSD. I know a couple people with that, especially from being in the military or some tragic or some type of trauma happened to them. They got that PTSD. I got one friend that she ain't had so much trauma. If you drop a quarter of pin, she jumps. Eating disorders, personality disorders, schizophrenia spectrum, and other psychotic disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Man, see, you see a bunch of this in ADHD, and that's what that means. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. You see that in a bunch of kids, a bunch of adults. I know some adults that's so frigidity, they can't sit down, they study going, they study going, they study going, they can't sit down for nothing. Disruptive behavior disorder. So those some of the mental health disorders right there. Uh, how common are the mental illnesses? Well, like I said, I don't know. I had to Google. I had to Google everything, but I'm learning just like you are. And like I say, if you feel that we need another discussion, hey, hit me up. Let me know. We can talk about this again. I don't have no problem with it. This is my podcast. I pay these bills. So, mental illnesses are among the most common health conditions in the United States. More than 50% will be diagnosed with a mental illness or disorder at some point in their life. I probably got one. I'm not going to even lie. 1 in 5 Americans will experience a mental illness in a given year. 1 in 5 children, either currently or at some point during their life, have had a seriously mental illness, deliberating mental illness. 1 in 25 Americans lives with a serious mental illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or major depression. So I bet you everybody looking at this podcast or who gonna look at this podcast, either them or somebody in their family that had a mental disorder, had a mental illness. Hey, Crystal, miss you too, sis. How you doing? Hey, call me out tomorrow. Let's catch up. Let's chat it up. Uh, yeah. So I know I have. I know I ain't been depressed before. Uh, I think I got ADHD. That's what everybody tell me because I like things a certain way. Hey, it's just me. What causes mental illnesses? There is no single cause for mental illnesses. A number of factors can contribute to the risk for mental illness, such as early adverse life experiences, such as trauma or a history of abuse. For example, child abuse, sexual abuse, witnessing violence, and etc. Uh, you know, uh, child abuse. How many people has experienced that? Man, I never have experienced child abuse, but I know people that have, and it scars still to this day. Um, I heard some of the stories how they used to get whooped for anything, how they used to get beat for anything, and it bothers them to this day. Um, it bothers them to the point where they have kids and they won't even raise their voice at their kids because it takes them back to their childhood to when they was getting beat. Sexual assault. Oh man, that's deep right there. Uh, Sexual assault happens in a family to a child more than what people think it does. And it carries with them for a long, long, long time, especially if you're not getting help for it. Sexual assault, it can happen from a family member, it can happen from uh, a close friend of the family, or it could happen from a total stranger. I think, me personally, sexual assault is one of the biggest mental illnesses that's going around because people hold that for a very, 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 very long time. Witnessing violence, oh man, I don't know about you, but I witnessed a lot of violence in my family. My mom and daddy used to fight. I mean, when I say fight, they used to fight. And my mom was bigger than my daddy. I remember one time I was about 8, 9. at my daddy's gas station. And back then, the gas station was on 30th and State across from the National Guard, the Armory. It ended up being a car wash. It was next door to Lucky Larry's game room. And back then they had the self-service, so you pull up, run over this little wire, ring the bell. As kids, we were out there pump the gas and watch the windows make quarters and stuff like that. So that particular day, my mom pulled up in the car and she got off, started pumping her own gas. And my daddy got mad. He literally got mad because he's like, as my wife, you'll never come up here. You'll never come up here to the gas station and pump your own gas. I mean, my daddy just didn't want that. But knowing my mama, she was so independent, she did it herself. So, make a long story short, they got the boxer. I mean, like Sugar Ray and Hagler, Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. Oh man, my mama hit my daddy. Down go Frazier, down go Frazier. She started stumping him. And after like 3 or 4 kicks, she broke her leg. So she threatened my daddy, made him take him to the hospital. He took her to the hospital, but they had plenty of fights. People know me from 33rd all the way back down to 1800 blocks, 18th and State, all the way up to where I'm at now, Edgemont. They knew me. They knew my daddy. They knew my family. So I think every family witnessed violence in there. Uh, another factor, experiences related to other ongoing chronic medical conditions such as cancer or diabetes. Uh, I work at a hospital, so I see cancer patients. I see how they be so depressed um, because cancer is big, and they feel like they gonna die. Not everyone survives cancer, so that would cause you to get into a mental breakdown. And like I stated earlier, depression. That's a mental illness. Diabetes. With me being borderline diabetic or diabetic, whatever you want to call it, borderline diabetic, whatever. Uh, that tends to bother you because you got to worry about what you're eating. You got to worry about what you got to worry about what you're eating. You got to worry about your intake. You got to worry about if your sugar high, your sugar low. That bothers because it bothers me sometimes. My last doctor appointment, my doctor told me I had to lose weight because my A1Cs was up, my sugar was up, everything else, cholesterol, all the other tests was good, but my sugar, A1Cs, and that kind of bothered me because I'm like, man, I remember when I was thin, I gained that weight, had caught COVID, lost 60 pounds, was doing good, but picked up a little more weight on me. I feel comfortable with it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie. But when he told me that, them diabetes, that kind of bothered me. So I kind of cut back on my candy. Everybody know I'm a big candy and chip eater, so I kind of cut that back. Um, another factor that contribute to our mental illness is biological factors of chemical imbalances in the brain. Uh, I didn't really Google that, but I know people have chemical imbalances. Uh, their calcium could be off. They potassium could be off. It's certain stuff in your body that may cause you to be unstable. Use of alcohol and drugs, and I got this sitting right here. But I don't abuse it. So I think when you abuse the alcohol, it causes you to fall into depression. You get to think about everything. You know, uh, basically, sometimes uh, when I think when it disrupt your brain is a mental illness. Drugs. Everybody know what drugs do to you. Everybody know what crack, heroin, all that stuff do to you. That messes you up. Uh, you'll never uh, you'll never be like, I do drugs and it don't bother me. I can smoke all the crack I want and it don't bother me. Nah, it don't work that way. Uh, anything that alters your mind state, I can throw that into the mental illness thing. The very last one I'm gonna talk about is like having feelings of loneliness or isolation. A lot of people are loners. A lot of people don't like to be around nobody because they feel so uncomfortable. And when they get to that, they act like that nobody's like them or the world is against them. And it's not. It's just some people feel lonely and they isolate themselves. And when they isolate themselves, their mind get to going and they get to thinking about everything. They get thinking about if they did anything to make themselves feel lonely or anything like that. And I mean, I never been like that, so I don't know about that. I don't know about that feeling. But a couple of these things I ain't talked about already. I have been there, so I can experience that. Uh, how can you over, overcome some of this? Um, I don't know. Talk to a counselor. A lot of people don't like talking to counselors because they don't want nobody in their business. Uh, talk to your best friend. Talk to somebody that you can trust. Sometimes I try to be that person. Everybody know me. If you have a serious problem and you really want to talk, if, I have people that call me or they come see me and they'll talk to me because they know I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it back to them raw. If you tell me, I feel down because I took all my money and smoked my weed and now I'm broke. I'm just gonna tell you, your ass was dumb. And then nobody tell you spend all that money on your weed. Now you're broke. That's on you. You know, or or you working every day and you let little sea dog or stomach bloke drive all the gas out your car, and now you don't have no gas. You'll go back from work, and you feeling depressed. Now I'm gonna tell you now, you shouldn't feel depressed about that. You should feel stupid because there's no way nobody goes lay up in my house, drive my car, and do everything like that, and not work and not put no gas in my car. You able to buy you able to buy a gram every 2 or 3 hours. No. Or you buy a quarter or you buy a zip. No. So certain stuff, I can agree with about having mental health. So some stuff I'm just gonna call it plain being a dummy. So per the CDC and mentalhealth.gov, how can you do a mental health self check? Uh, first thing they say, find somewhere quiet. Find somewhere quiet. Uh, find somewhere quiet. Look at yourself. Uh, ask yourself a question: what's going on with your day-to-day life? Um, next thing they said was look at your own feelings and behavior. You know, no one baseline is normal or the same. So they say. So the experts say it's important to look for changes in your mood. Questions. you can ask yourself, how have my behaviors changed? How have my feelings changed? Do I still find joy in things that once brought me joy? Am I being irritable or snapping at people? Am I really down more than I usually am? Am I avoiding people? You know, hey, like I say, I don't know about looking at my own feelings and behavior. I can't see it. That's like talking to myself. But sometimes you have to question yourself and question your own abilities about things. Uh, but you got to remember, everyone have bad days. But if you're feeling down for longer than 2 weeks, that's a cause for concern, and may mean it's time to seek professional help. Next, you got to look at your body. Our bodies try to communicate when our brains are not well. Mental health and physical health are extremely linked. You should ask yourself. So some more questions asking yourself. How am I sleeping? Am I eating well? Am I grinding my teeth? That's kind of. Do I feel muscle tension in my neck or shoulders? Am I being active the way I usually am? So that's looking at your body. Now, one thing I can say is, if you start feeling bad pains, tension in your neck and your shoulders, then it run down your arm, go get yourself checked out. That means you worrying yourself and you about to stroke out. I'm just gonna tell you what that means right there. Uh, I'm eating well. You can tell if you're eating well. If you lose your appetite, you start losing weight. That means you depressed about something. You worry about something. What's that? T Mac. What's the word, baby? And I'm on sleeping. I mean, with me, I toss and turn at night sometimes because with that COVID I had, it messed up my hip. So I can't lay on my left side too long without my hip get hurting. So I got to turn over to the right. If I turn over to the right, my right gets hurting. If I lay on my back, I snore too loud. So the next thing the experts say, don't wait until things are bad. In a perfect world, people would do these check-ins even when they weren't struggling. It's much easier to prevent a crisis than it is to climb out of one. The rec- four major dimensions support a life in recovery. Health, make informed, healthy choices that support physical and emotional well-being. Home, it is important to have a stable and safe place to live. Purpose, engage in meaningful daily activities such as a job or school, volunteering, caring for your family, or being creative. Work for independence, income, and resource to participate in society. Now, I'm gonna disagree with number three because sometimes job and school is stressful. Job and school would cause you so much anxiety. It would cause you so much depression. Uh, Hell, sometimes it might give you an eating disorder. Recently, we had some new nurses coming in at the hospital, and it was their first day. We had a couple of them fell out, passed out because they didn't eat in a couple of days because they knew they was coming to the hospital to do their very first training, and for some of them, this it was their first time working in a hospital. So, like I said, this is what the experts say. Last thing, community. Build relationships and social networks that provide support. I can agree with that. I think the more support you have, the more people you could talk to that you can trust. I think it can help you with your mental illness. Uh, like we say, mental illness is in everybody. It's in all of us. Uh, it's deep. It's deep. A lot of people are dying from it. Um, a lot of people are just using it as scapegoat. We see a bunch of people that slaughter people, uh, go on a killing spree, and the first thing they gonna say is they got mental illness, but they want mental when they went and bought that AK-47 in their name. There wasn't no mental thing. It wasn't mental when like that case about the black man being chased down and he been gunned down and they video taped it. I can't think his name, but one of the guys in the case, he trying to claim that he got a mental illness. He didn't really know what he was doing. You know, yeah, okay. Uh, so for some people, if you know, if you are someone you know may be struggling with suicidal thoughts, you can call the U.S. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK 8255. 1-800-273-TALK. Anytime, day or night, or chat online. The crisis text line also provides 24/7 confidential support via text messages to people in crisis when they dial 741-741. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention has resources to help if you need to find support for yourself or your loved one. So, if you know anybody that's dealing with a mental illness, try to give them some help, man, because you don't want to look back and be like, man, I knew homeboy was going through some, and I didn't try to help him. If you got a conscience, it's gonna weigh on you. Uh, I'm at I'm at Aubrey. Thanks, Mike Moe. That was the guy named that got shot. But yeah, mental health is deep. Uh, we laugh at people. And I ain't been on no end laughing at people. I ain't gonna lie. But when I found out, what's really going on, I kind of felt bad, especially googling this and reading this and really finding out what mental illness really was. I thought it was just dealing with PTSD, uh, depression, and schizophrenia like that. I didn't know it was like all the other stuff that I named out. And like I say, it's over 200 types of mental illnesses. That's a lot. That's a lot. I didn't know mental illness was that big. So with that being said, Mike Moe, you say you want to shout out that Don Julio? Baby, you're more than welcome, my buddy, my friend, my brother. More than welcome. You're more than welcome, Mike Moore. Mike Moore, my cat, man. Other than that, how everybody else doing on? What's the big plans for this weekend? What's going on? Where the party at? What's popping? I know Mike Moore doing something. He always doing something. But yeah. But like I say, if y'all know anybody, you know, know anybody that's dealing with mental illness, help them out. Give them a call, talk to them, do something. Tell them, let them know that everything's gonna be okay, because you never know when you might need it. Plain and simple. I'm gonna run through this little stuff real quick again. Whitney Rondo, Blue Phoenix Volleyball Club. She's Whitney Rondo on Facebook. Look her up. Help these young ladies who's trying to do something positive. The Blue Phoenix Volleyball Club, they're looking for donations and sponsors. You can sponsor an athlete. Even if you just sponsor $100, $50, $20, get Whitney a call at 618-960-0947 or email it at bluephoenixathletics@outlook.com. Sponsor them young ladies, man. Let's let's keep these young ladies from being in these streets twerking and getting into shit they don't have no business getting into. A lot of them a lot of them love volleyball. They want volleyball to be their way out of the inner city. So let's help them out. Arnold Williams, Chaos for Music. He got a single, featuring Hitch J Rock. They out of U City. Look him up on Instagram, Chaos, KAYOS 4 music. He's on Instagram. He also on Facebook as Arnold Williams. Download the single, screen it for 30 seconds. That's all he needs. A screen. Y'all can play it every day for 30 seconds. That's all he needs. Help him out. Good cat. Roman Brooks. He do personal fitness. He also have merchandise. If you need any help getting in shape, y'all keep on saying y'all be trying to have those summer bodies. It's the winter time now. It's time to start working on them. Contact them at bigrowfitness.com or you can email them at bigrowfitness@gmail.com. Last thing. See the shirt? It say Hargrove Airlines. It's takeoff time, baby. TJ Hawthorne, Terrence Hawthorne Jr. Get in contact with his parents. They on Facebook. Tracy Smith Hawthorne, Terrence Hargrove. I mean, not Hawthorne, I'm tripping. Tracy Smith Hargrove and Terrence Hargrove, TJ parents. They could get you hooked up with the shirts. Buy a t-shirt, buy a face mask, buy a hoodie. Help TJ out. TJ doing this thing over there at St. Louis University, the Billikens. And so that young cat, man, that's the nicest, most humblest young cat I ain't met. For real. He's so humble. Help him out, buy some gear. Pretty soon I have my merchandising line coming out. I got some ideas being thrown around for the Buckwild podcast. Y'all have any ideas? If y'all trying to get on and have something really to talk about, don't get over here bullshitting. Hit me up. Send me a message on Facebook. Or send me a message on Instagram. On Instagram, I'm under JBuckY or Buck_with_J_Buck. When I get through, I will be loading this up on YouTube. Tell a friend, pass it along, man. Share this. Share my YouTube with your friends. I don't, help it play out. I'm on YouTube as Buckwild Podcast with J Buck. JAYBUCK. Buckwild Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe. Check out all my other videos on there. I just be rambling, talking about shit. But that's what I do. If you know me and you been in my presence, I'm talking about anything. I just ramble. But for real though, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in.
You are now listening to the Buckwild Podcast with your boy J Buck, BKA, the Airtime Snatcher, also known as Mr. $40 Holla.
Holla! So with that being said, your boys getting out of here. Deuces. I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Holla at you. Peace.